Good evening. This is the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners, St. Charles Parish Housing Authority, Tuesday, March 28th, 2023. Time is 6:11 p.m. I call the meeting to order. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, the first agenda item this evening is our board review for the minutes from our meeting on January 30th, 2023. Is there any board discussion? All right, seeing none, do we have a motion from a member of the board?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'd like to accept the minutes from the last meeting.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor to accept the minutes as written?
Aye.
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 All right, that carries. Second agenda item is board review for financial report review of low rent and HCVP. Board discussion.
Well, we don't have anything in the packet. I guess my first question would be, how come we don't have anything in the packet?
Sherry kept claiming that she could not do anything until the end of the year, fiscal year. And all the information. So hopefully next meeting, we'll have an update. We have everything.
Who was that?
Sherry, the accountant.
Oh, okay. All right, she's doing year of end
Yes,
finalization?
yes.
Okay.
Fiscal year end?
Excuse me?
Are you saying our fiscal year end is what
Yes.
she's doing?
Yes,
And that's ended in what, October?
October, or September.
September, and we're in March.
All right.
Not good, I'll say.
All right.
So that's what she's currently in September? Right, or she,
September already.
right,
So I guess she'll be doing from October up until now.
okay. So she's working on from October, the starting of the new fiscal year.
Correct, correct.
Okay, so that just hasn't been completed yet?
Last I spoke with her, no,
Okay.
but hopefully, like I say, they done started working on it, so hopefully for next meeting, they'll have everything current.
Did she have a timeline for completing, or?
No,
Okay.
now she may have spoken to Leatrice, gave Leatrice a timeline, but they didn't give me one.
For me, it just makes monitoring in real time difficult. I mean, I guess I'm sure I'm not the only one to go through the papers, but I do, and it's just something that we need to see.
Yeah, and I mean, especially being that our last meeting was January 30th, 31st, that, you know.
Mm-hmm. And maybe Ms. Hollis will arrive with an explanation and possibly the paperwork.
All right, in the interim, I move that we table the review of financial and expense reports for low rent and HCVP until next month's meeting. Do I have a second?
A second.
All in favor?
All right.
That carries. At this time, we'll review the VMS report. Any board discussion or questions, comments?
What's the status of the waiting list?
For,
Vouchers.
June,
So it's gonna be open in June?
yes, June,
Okay,
we'll probably be opening it up.
okay.
In June, our waiting list is gonna be opening up. Okay,
That's the Section 8 one. Public housing has been open.
so, are we correct in saying that everybody has moved out of Hornville?
Yes,
And there's nobody in DeZalman? So, I guess one thing I just looking through the checks, and I wasn't sure what units, or rather which complexes it went to, but shouldn't we be expecting some of the utilities are going to go down in those places?
they have.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Any additional questions regarding VMS report at this time?
We totally.
Yeah, I don't have any.
All right.
Look at just financial status. Any comments on restricted and unrestricted net positions? Are those good numbers we're looking at? On page 5 of the VMS report.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, those are good numbers we're looking at there.
Yes.
Okay. So even with a negative 4,431. That's on page 5 of the VMS.
Well, it looks like the UMP had. Looks like a UMP increased in January, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so the first document is no. Right, a UMP was, okay, the first document is actually February. In January, UMP was up. And then in February, we had a decrease in that UMP.
Okay, you're correct in that. Like February was at 206, January was at 202. Restricted net position, January was 3,589.
No, I'm sorry. I'm gonna take that back. The UMP has increased from February. It went from 202 to 206.
Correct. Now look at the number below that.
Investment.
That's your restricted net position. That one's a negative 4,331. 4,431.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, I'm done with the VMS. I don't know if y'all are.
All right, do we have a motion to accept it into the record?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to accept the VMS report into the record.
All right, we have a motion made. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
That carries. All right, administrative reports. We have the low rent update.
Okay, for low rent, total units now is 129. We
Which
have
month are you working on, ma'am?
February.
February, okay.
The unit lease is 47, 81 vacant units. 1 unit in mod. We had 0 move-ins, no move-outs. The amount of rent collected was $15,704. First choice, on February 2nd, they did the interior for Boutique. Do y'all need January 1, 2, Ray?
Yes, for the record, if
Okay.
you would, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Total units, same, 129, unit lease, 47, vacant unit as of January 2023, 81. 1 unit in mod, no move-outs. The total amount of rent collected was $14,503. First choice did the interior for Booty and for Hornville. Going to HCV for February, we had, for courthouse searching, we had 8. For courthouse lease-up paying, we have 8. Port-in lease-up billing, we have 17. Port-in searching for housing, we have 3. No end of participation. Payment as of February 28, 2023, $192,229.01. HAP and URL payments were $168,687. Outgoing $5,883. Incoming portable $17,296. Admin fees was $248.81. Return HAP and admin fees to Killer was $184.20.
What brought about that?
They were paying for someone that I had EOP'd, so I had to go back and pay them.
Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am.
For January, 11, port out searching. Port out leased up was 7. Port in leased up billing, 15. Port in searching for housing, 6. End of participation, 2, which abandoned the units. Payment as of January 31st, 2023, $186,287.60. HAP and URL payments, $164,563. Outgoing was $5,305. Incoming portable, $14,113. $482 in admin fees. $1,824.60 was returned to Kenner. Same person.
I'd like to go back to low rent for just a second. I know that we received an email from Ms. Clark at HUD today regarding occupancy.
Yes.
And I know there's currently 82 vacant units. And I know that through this whole process, you know, we've made units vacant and put them in mod while we're waiting to go into the streamlined voluntary conversion. You know, in order not to.
That's a good, but on the, and I had a question about on the report, it says that we only have 1 unit in mod.
No,
Right.
These are not in mod. These are just vacant.
They took all of them out.
Yeah, there's 82 that are vacant. And I know when we first started this process of voluntary conversion, I know we've run into a bunch of hiccups in the road for various reasons. And I think we're getting to the point where we're resolving the majority of them. We were advised to place units in mod until the conversion took place, so we're not investing money in repairing units that would then be redone under the streamlined conversion. And I know, based on the email that we received today, now HUD saying that it's not possible to put any of these units in modernization until we have our contract in place. So, and thank you, Ms. Hollis, for being here. If someone's able to bring clarity to that.
I heard you speaking of MOD. MOD is the amount of money that we get for units that's out of commission. But of course, we get the money, I'm sorry. So mod, which is modernization. The units that's on modernization, we get paid for those units, even though they're out of commission. However, our operation money is given to us annually in the beginning of the year, which means we've already been paid for them. However, the process with the mod, we couldn't go through. We attempted several times. Linda's not here. We attempted several times to submit mod, but it was denied because 2020, 2022, 2023, and 2022, 2021, 2022, PHA plan had not been approved by HUD. Without that plan being approved, we couldn't do it. We did the public hearing, which is the process, last year. So we're going through that process, but we've already been awarded the
public hearing in order for the PHA plan.
Mm-hmm. So we've already been awarded $544,000. We only get $500 and some odd dollars, but it increases every year. We've been awarded $544,324,000 for this current year. So we've been paid for those units, but we still want to go through that process if we have to. It was not anticipated. It was not anticipated that we would still be doing this because we thought we would have been in a conversion by now, but we're not.
So, Mr. Chairman, what was the email or letter you were referencing? What was that about then?
It's exactly what I said. HUD was questioning our 82 vacant units and wanting to get an update on occupancy, and they said that it would not be possible to put any of these units in mod until we have our contract in place for the streamlined voluntary conversion.
And let me add to that because I came in late and I missed that part of it. Hornville is vacant. We have no tenants in Hornville. We have no tenants in DeSalmon. All of our tenants are now in Boutique. Two reasons. Two, Ida tore up Hornville. Two is that it wasn't safe to have 7 families. It was only 7 families left in Hornville. It wasn't safe to have 7 families, so we relocated them to Boutique. Here is the positive of that. As we do our conversion, our biggest problem is relocation, which means that as we go through the process, relocating the tenants, we literally have nowhere to put them. The availability of affordable housing in St. Charles Parish is second to zero. Second to zero. So the beauty of it is that when we start, what we were trying to do in phases, we could hit we could hit Hornville and DeSalmon all at one time. All at one time. And then when we finished that, we could take our boutique residents and house them in our units, and we don't have to depend on trying to find somewhere to put them.
Well, and I certainly understand that, and I know that that was kind of the plan, obviously, not to have all of that vacant at once, but to be able to move tenants prior to the conversion in order that we don't have to last-minute rush to find a bunch of available housing when we're facing a nationwide housing crisis. So I guess the question is not so much as like looking at this email from an accusatory stance, because I do understand the process that got us to where we're at. I understand that there were some issues in the streamlined conversion process that I know, based on some conference calls recently, that we've resolved most issues, and we're kind of waiting for just a couple more boxes to check at this point. But my question is, what is the plan to respond to their, for HUD's request that the units be filled when they're not repaired? And it seems like a waste of funds to repair them and then go into the conversion.
So with that being said, compliance is the issue. HUD is a government agency that has a process with boxes that has to be checked. Those boxes doesn't necessarily apply to real life situations that we deal with. So I'm gonna have to reply to it. And as I reply to it, I will say what I just now said. I mean, we can't do any more than that. We cannot spend money on Hornville. What we are doing, one of the resolutions, what we are doing is we are going to fill, we are going to repair to safety and sanitary, not renovate. We're going to repair everything that's vacant and boutiqued. We're going to do an RFP to repair that, which means we'll be able to take some people off of the waiting list in our public housing. That's it. Any and everything else is going to be, it's not going to be feasible, not financially. We have several issues. One is that when we first started the conversion process was $29 million, but the interest rate was at 2%. It has tripled. It has tripled. So we have to be careful with the money we have. We have left from 2019, we've been frugal. From 2019, we have 34,000. From 2020, we have 210,000. From 2017, we have 217,000. From 2022, we have $338,421. And for 2023, we have $343,000. We're going to need that for the conversion. Operation. From 2022, we have $101,000, and from 2022, we still have $496,000. But we have to be careful how we spend it, because we have to project as it relates to where we're going. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You could pass that. I downloaded that from ELOX.
So basically, we have to wait on the conversion contract.
Conversion has been holding us up for 2 years.
I know, I understand that, but and my question is, what's the timeline on it? Do we have an idea?
I know that the last conference call we had with John, I'm very confident in John, very confident. In the last conference call, what we found out is that now Part 58 has to go in Heroes. That was not required in the beginning.
Right.
So Part 58 has to go in the Heroes, but he couldn't put it in Heroes because St. Charles Parish was not registered. On the very next day of that conference call, Commissioner Jay talked to the parish president and they immediately registered. So right now, what we're trying to get is confirmation that HUD has approved it. HUD has to approve it.
And I'd like to add to that. The registration process took place immediately, but even HUD on their conference call said once it's registered, it would take 2 to 3 weeks to come back and work through the system in order for them to ping the parish president's office again to finish their process, and then has to go back to HUD to then get the final approval. So we're at about the 2 to
We passed.
we're at the 3 week
Yeah, we're
mark
past
But-
3 weeks.
So when did we
Yeah.
receive that email?
today.
The emails were today, right? Mm-hmm. But it seems like our field office they understand what we're trying to do, and they're writing us an email giving us, asking us questions, but we need their assistance to get this done, and then what that email is about will be satisfied.
Right,
Am I
so
correct? It's just,
you're
it's-
correct.
it
I mean, if
seems
we
like
get through
it's-
the streamlined conversion, all of that email would be, but
They have to check their boxes.
I understand. You know, you gotta check your boxes. You gotta go. You gotta do your job, right? Everybody has their boxes. They gotta check. That's the way the government works. I understand that, but it just seems to me like there's got to be like a common sense is not the word I'm looking for, but it's like if we get this done, then it satisfies this, then everything is peachy. So let's go ahead and get it. Let's get it there. Let's get it done.
Work with us to get there.
Yes, exactly. What that's the
We're
point.
partners.
We are
so,
partners.
I want to
And
commend the
we're
parish
doing-
president and his office for getting us that part of the puzzle.
Immediately
That was
they
something
respond.
that
Yes, that was great.
neither the housing authority, the commissioners, it was, something that happened in the last couple of years as we started this process is they went digital, talking about HUD.
Right.
And so a lot of the process started out paper when we started the process and became digital. And then as it became digital, there was a process for getting it entered into the various systems. Right. And so no one was aware that we had to do this little piece of the puzzle to get, the parish government to do the online registration.
So I'm very happy for their support, and I loved how fast it was.
Yeah, I
And I
mean,
think-
once we all sat down for a conference call and pointed out the different things that needed to be done, it was very quick. So everything's now been seen, uploaded, and the registration process has taken place. And so now we're at the point where it has to go back to HUD for approval, and I'm going to verify that there's nothing else on either the housing authority or the
That would be my next suggestion. I mean, it
the
seems
parish
like
president's office that needs to
Right.
still be done in order to make
we're
that
past our
happen.
timeline. I think we should.
Yeah.
Everybody should follow up and see where we're at to get this done.
We actually did on yesterday. We did. We're waiting for a response. So I think that the easiest way, the fastest way, based on history, will be to get verification from the parish. But we did request on yesterday with HUD. When I say we, I'm referring to our development partner and I. So HUD has gone paperless, and I complain. I complain to y'all about it all the time. They have gone paperless. I need to say, Andy, I don't know what's going on. Andy and Leetris, her name is Leetris. Andy and Leetris, oh my God, have been awesome helping me through the process.
Yeah, I will say that those two individuals in particular at HUD over the last couple of months have truly been an asset to us. I know that we did go through some changes in who our points of contacts were over the last, year and a half?
For the last 3 years, I'm on my fourth. They say we on our fourth. I'm on my fourth. It was Christina, then it was this guy Richard, then it was this lady who didn't stay very long at all. HUD is most of their people. I mean, they're aging out. Every time, and they have a huge turnover.
Right.
So,
You know, I'm hearing that, and I'm just like, boy, where do I go with this? But it seems to me we missing the point. We're not getting it. I've had people as recently as 2 days ago ask me about housing. When are we going to do the conversion? And with no answers. As everything I've heard here this evening, I can't grasp a tangible answer to go out and give the public, go out and give the residents. They don't want to hear about HUD going digital. They don't want to hear we've had whatever, HUD made personnel changes.
well, Mr. Woods,
Let me finish, please. Can I finish? Let me finish.
go ahead and finish.
And so that's where my frustration comes. And I'm sitting here as a frustrated commissioner who can't get, or this board get past this conversion. Let me, I'm not done, so, and I know it's touchy because it's touchy for me to say this. I'm just totally frustrated, and I hear what you guys telling me, and I may get it a little bit, but it doesn't satisfy what our mission and what our goal is. We have people that don't have places to live, and I hurt when they hurt. So give us an answer that the parish council, when we've gone to them and say, here's what we're going to do by January. We've had the residents for 2 years now, and I think they're as frustrated as I am. I know they're frustrated as I am now. So let's
I can agree.
let's just come up with a solution.
Commissioner Woods, I can agree with everything that you said.
We're all
You're
frustrated.
not the only commissioner on this board that is frustrated. What I can tell you is that whether it's a good answer, whether it's the whole answer that we need, or whether it's a definitive timeline or not for our residents, I can tell you that this was a huge piece of the puzzle that has been accomplished in the last month. It had to take place, and until that piece of the puzzle was done, we couldn't move forward to the next step. And hopefully, at that next step, we will have a more definitive timeline. But that had to get done. No one was aware that it was done. It was not made clear in the process. And I know through email correspondence, phone calls, and teleconferencing and meetings and everything else, that we went in circles and we were accused by different parties of not completing tasks in a timely manner when we had timestamp proof that we did. But because certain things weren't populating in whatever computer system HUD was looking at the time, they weren't seeing it on their end, and we were seeing it on our end. We've resolved technical issues over the last month. We resolved an issue, thanks to the parish president, of getting a certain registration to take place in the HEROES program. There have been huge strides in the last month that were holding up our application. They shouldn't have been holding them up, but that's where we were. And so I wanted to make it clear that those things have been done. I wanted the board to be aware of it and understand. But you're not the only one that's frustrated. We're all frustrated. This has been a tiring, exhausting process over these last few years. The residents certainly deserve better, but I do think we've made strides here in the last month that will hopefully give us the timelines and the answers that we need moving forward.
And as you
Ms.
see,
Hollis?
I had my,
Yeah.
I would say I had my, like earlier, I was showing you I was displaying my frustration with the process. But, you know, the reason that is because I know how close we are. We are literally there. All the time getting to this point has been a lot of and quite frankly, lack of communication to get done what needs to get done. But at this point, we are. Our toe is not touching the finish line, and I don't know what else to say. I mean, we're literally there. We just have to get past this last hurdle, and we should be clear.
So I want to speak. Excuse me. I want to speak as staff. because you guys got to remember, I'm staff, I'm not on your level, right? The leadership sits here. The leadership comes from here. So if people have issues and they want to talk about it, the leadership comes from here. The directives from the leadership is given to me. They're given to me. And it is at that point it becomes my responsibility. I forgot to put my teeth in.
We never do it, we didn't say anything.
The leadership, but as the directives are given to me, I implement them. I don't do day to day. My staff do. They're awesome. They have thousands and thousands. We exit in civil service this day, sir. They have thousands and thousands of hours. If they decide to stay home every day for the rest of this year, I got to pay them. But they come because they're motivated and they're excellent.
Speaking of that, thank y'all. What is the status?
We exiting civil service. Boy,
No, she didn't say that.
sir,
She didn't say that.
You're committed. Since you're so committed to get the job done. And we appreciate
Where are we with that piece?
I
with
need the resolution
okay.
and then we can start the process. I had to get a resolution done and I had to do some homework on it.
Right.
So but with that being said, St. Charles Parish has a housing problem. We're public housing. In any other parish, they have public housing and they have community development that deals with the other issues. We're not the cure-all. We can't even spend our money on other issues. We can only spend our money on public housing. Now, when we get the nonprofit, sir, when we get the nonprofit, we could grow to that level. But at this point, all we can spend our money on is public housing. Now, does the parish need to have affordable housing programs in place? I say yes. Does the parish get resources that can be used on it? The answer is yes. It doesn't come to us. It doesn't come to us. So as we learn and understand the process, but remember that we staff, the leadership, whatever your vision is, Mr. Woods, I know you have a vision. You tell me all the time. Whatever your vision is, we sit down, we talk about it, and I can tell you whether or not it fits within our scope of services and the funding that we have. If not, we just can't. But that doesn't mean that the problem is not there. I get those phone calls every day. Every day. I don't even have anywhere to send them anymore.
All right. At this time, I'd like to move on to Mr. Miles on the maintenance report.
Well, you had to repair a roof that.
Get your microphone.
Yeah, we did have to repair a roof at apartment 213. The whole ceiling up in the living room just was coming down. Ceiling fan, wires, everything. I guess all that's due to that storm and whatnot, so.
And we have replaced all the roofs in Hornville and also in Boutique, which is one of the issues in one of HUD's letters. I also want to say, as it relates to the maintenance issue, they finished those 10 units. They finished the 10 units that they were working on. 3 of them was done by maintenance, and 7 of them was done by a contractor. I have an RFP to do everything that's vacant. We're going to go do the RFP after I hire an architect to do a cost analysis. Another issue with maintenance that I want to say is that they've done an excellent job through the inspection process, going to the individual tenants' units and seeing what those problems are, because sometimes they don't tell us. Tenants are responsible for damage that they cause themselves, so sometimes they don't tell us. So our maintenance issues are, they're less. The biggest thing we have is plumbing. Plumbing, right?
Yes, that brings me up to the question I was going to have. We have major issues with plumbing.
Yes, we do. Sir?
And I get the history of the place or whatever. In
Yes,
the
sir.
last 2 months, you know how much you spent on plumbing?
You got no choice.
You spent $6,900 on just plumbing.
That's that.
So if that's the pattern, at the end of the year, you know how much we will have spent on plumbing?
A ton.
But you gotta realize how old
Plumbing-
these buildings are.
plumbing-
I got all of that. I'm just putting it out there that if we were, as our toes are on the line, so this conversion, not having it completed or into it affects us dearly, dearly.
Yes.
Well, it comes out of our CFP, which is infrastructure money. But plumbing since the day I walked in the door, it was worse in Hornville. We were walking in raw sewage.
Oh, I get all of that. My point for asking the question was just to emphasize
Oh, we are very aware of
us
it.
not into the voluntary conversion is costing us in a lot of different ways.
It is.
And
You are-
that was the point of
You
bringing
are
that up.
correct. Make sure you pay attention to them because that was crazy when I was writing.
I have another quick question, if I could. Explain a little bit about the recent software that we just purchased.
Happy?
I don't know. I just know it cost $54,000. So
Happy.
what did we just
It's-
spend
the-
54,000 on?
The name of it is Happy. We had what was called, we had 10 Mass. 10 Mass is outdated. 10 Mass is the one that caused us a lot of problems. 10 Mass is the one that our CPA, tell me the word I want to use. With
Our accountant? Forensic accountant?
Yeah, forensic. 10 Mass is the one that we've had, I guess, from
From at least the last 8 years or so. Or
longer than that.
It was an extremely antiquated program, and I don't remember what conference we were at or something, and they gave us a list of softwares that were, I don't know if it's,
acceptable.
Yeah, it's
Happy or smile.
So what is Happy going to do for us?
What I was doing was I was hesitant, and I shared this at a previous board meeting. I was hesitant about getting a new software until I understood that the importance of the software is not even much lower rent. It's going to be the HCV program. So there's Happy, there's Smile, and there's 10 Mass. What we learned was that 10 Mass had the ability to be manipulated. HUD told us it was outdated. So we had to get another software. What the software does is process everything that we do. In order for us to communicate with HUD secure system, to put the information in, the certification, we do recertification. What else we do, Yolanda?
What else Happy will be doing is like the wait list.
The wait list.
They can come on, go online in Happy, and Happy will manage our wait list. The 2-year tool, Happy gonna manage that, help us manage that. Landlords need the monthly billing on what they were paid. They can go on, do that. They can submit paperwork, tenants can submit paperwork, scan it in where we don't have to, if we don't want to keep files. But
Electronic.
everything is electronic on it. And it also goes in with the QuickBooks.
I was going to ask you, does it do anything financially
Yes.
for us?
It has QuickBooks.
And what comes to my head is, I don't know if you remember Commissioner Bailey, we had a conversation a couple of months back where in what you do every day, your supervisors are able to track your, say, weekly, monthly expenses, whatever. Does it do that for us also?
Yes.
Yeah, and y'all can have, I've always said, any program we have, you guys can have access to it. But one of the things that's most important to us at this point as we move forward, once we do the conversion, remember St. Charles Parish, low rent, public housing, development, goes away, evaporates. But we still are the contract administrator. Section 8 is not ours. That's HUD. We are a contract administrator. Happy is going to allow us to continue to administrate that program, which is why I made the decision to go ahead on and buy it. Because it's been a while, and I kept saying I don't see where it's financially feasible. It is, and it was recommended by the consultants that we have, circular recommended. And we about to open up our waiting list. We ain't gonna have people waiting outside. They're gonna do it online. Our website exceeds what a kiosk can do
I got
at
you.
this particular time. And with Happy, we gonna be on steroids
So even though our waiting list is gonna be opening up,
for Section 8.
for Section 8.
Hasn't been open since 2016.
Okay, but we still gotta, then that's where landlords come in, it's off-site housing. Okay, got that, all right.
Yeah, that's still gonna be the same
No,
problem.
I got you. Still finding housing. I got you. Still the same situation. And that brings me to, I know we mentioned forensic. And I know that the gentleman was at our
Retreat?
retreat there. Didn't really get to learn much from him, just because maybe the situation or whatever. So I guess that brings me to, is there some point where he can come and feel, and he's in a comfortable situation to talk to this board and let us know where he is?
We can have him. He's finished. He's done. That was a limited role. It was an investigative role. It needed to find what our problems were.
Then-
Right now, our financials, we just closed out.
I got you. Then if he's done, then I guess I'm asking you, where's the report? Where is we can,
The problem.
so,
The problem. We've consistently talked about the problem. The problem is that we had employees that was allowing people to live that wasn't paying rent and hiding it. But he needs to put it in right.
Right, we need something in writing just to
yes.
have the paper trail. That's what Mr. Woods is asking for this time.
He needs to put that in writing. I get it. And I agree. Because that becomes support documentation for even much hiring him.
Right.
But we just, we just closed out September. They have all of the month's information ready. They're gonna start spitting them out. But we had to go back and fix that. And we had to go and deal with that, and there was an issue with those tenants.
Do we know how much the forensic accountant has cost us so far?
We've been paying them $1,500 a month
For how many months, you think?
since February. We hired both after I got the resolution. Since February. $1,500 a month. So the things that was there was a lot of manipulation, and I have been honest. There was a lot I needed to learn. So there were some things that just totally went over my head. I would have never even thought about looking at it. Would have never thought about looking at it being a problem. And it was Anna. It was our fee accountant. Our fee accountant, HSA, is the best thing we could have ever done.
So is there some kind of,
Just to clarify, Anna's the one that was able to find the problems or
Anna-
point us in the right direction. She was not the problem.
She was not the problem. She pointed us, she said, there's something wrong. She said there was something wrong. It was Anna.
is there a time frame when we can expect that forensic accountant's report?
I could request it tomorrow,
Okay.
based on your request, sir.
And that leads me to another question. We know we did that audit. We were supposed to get your responses.
To the audit report, which I've been working on. I'm sorry, I was supposed to give it to you on January 30th, and we're in, oh God.
March
We're
the
in March.
30th, just about.
We're in March. I'm halfway. We worked through it. Actually, we didn't talk through some of those issues this day at this meeting. But I need to put it in writing. Here's the issue. There's no issue. There's no excuse. I am I am late. And I should not.
Can we just create a new timeline then, so that there is some expectation?
Give me till the end of the month. I am finished with HUD. I am finished with GOSEP. GOSEP and HUD. Anna and I were working on it. When we did the evacuation, we actually used something that had not been done since I have been here, but I know that the agency has a history of it. We used HCV money to pay for that. So what I was trying to do was pay back slowly. So what Anna and I was doing was going through so that we could understand how to appropriately use the FEMA and the GOSEP money, only to learn that not only have we paid it back, we've been paid it back. So what we get from GOSEP and what we get from FEMA is ours. So 2 weeks ago, we literally, every time I come to this board, every board meeting, I say I'm finished with FEMA, only for FEMA to give me another process that I have to do. We literally did our transition exit. We are officially done. The problem we had was that our vendor number was not being recognized, of which I did in November. So we had to go back through the process and understand why. I sent you the email, and I think I sent it to you, Delario, that I did it on November 29th. So we had to go back through that process to understand why our vendor number wasn't being recognized. So our vendor number is being recognized. HUD has delivered the money to the way it goes, the process. I'm sorry, not HUD. FEMA gives it to the state. The state gives it to Homeland Security, and then Homeland Security give it to whatever state department, and then they give it to us. So I'm finished that process. That has been the most time-consuming thing I have done within a year.
Okay. I think my last comment is going to be this. As things are happening, can this whole board be in the loop of communication? What I'm getting at is that you guys said a couple of things have happened since we last sat down as a board, as far as moving the conversion forward. That just keeps me, keep us all
Yeah,
in
I
the
can
loop,
speak to that, Mr.
and then
Woods.
then I can give the public information also.
Yeah, I can speak to that. So a lot of the time, I'll get a request as chairman, and then based on that, it might just be me participating. Sometimes other members of the board will get a request, but because of our sunshine laws in Louisiana, only 2 board members can ever participate in the conversations that take place outside of this room. Typically, if not sooner, I give an update on what took place in the last month in the meetings here. We did not have one in February, and so now it's been 2 months where different events have transpired, and obviously, as I talked about prior to this meeting, this last month has been kind of a whirlwind for me. So I apologize if you didn't feel like you were kept in the loop, and we will make an effort to make sure that whatever transpires in between the meetings, that everyone's updated on the status.
Yes, Mr. Woods, I do not move. I do not move without keeping at least 1 commissioner or 2. Matter of fact, I've said in our meetings, I do not even want to communicate with anybody outside of this board without having a commissioner as a witness. So with that being said, I actually tried to call you, and I'm like, okay, let me see, because you call me all the time. I was worried about you.
Well, I was just being quiet, just hoping things were happening. I was expecting a call from you with some good news that the conversion has happened. So
We've had a couple of conference calls, but I'm not moving without a commissioner. Trust me, it's never in my best interest.
All right. That being said, are we, I know we have 3 resolutions that we have to get to this evening. Are we ready to move to that part of the meeting, or is there more discussion that needs to take place prior
Do
to
you
that?
want me to give a narrative on those?
You can.
I can do it very quickly. One is to exit civil service. We talked about that. We've done the research on it because we need to make sure that our staff can get market payment. One is to hire a new legislative auditor because he has been complaining to HUD that we haven't paid him, which means that we haven't given him a retainment. And the other is to hire a contract to do the rest of the units that's vacant in boutique.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I'm gonna start with, well, but the one that I'm remembering in my head. So the one by the legislative auditor, didn't we just do that? So we're hiring,
We have to advertise it.
but,
We had Mike. Remember, you guys decided we didn't want to
yeah,
use
yeah.
Mike.
So we're still in that process. So we did,
I need your authority.
The resolution this tonight authorizes the executive director to put out an RFP for a
Seek another
legislative
one.
auditor.
Yes.
I thought we had done that.
Well,
No, I didn't have a resolution. We talked about
we
it.
talked about it, and we were gonna have the resolution for the following board meeting, and then February didn't take place.
Okay, all right.
Yep. All right. So, that being said, our first resolution this evening is resolution requesting authorization to solicit legislative auditor. It's resolution number 0328-01. It would be, for the St. Charles Parish Housing Authority Board of Commissioners to authorize the executive director to solicit via an RFP for legislative auditor effective immediately upon approval by the board. Any board discussion?
I'd approve it, but I don't know which the numbers are.
032801.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to pass a motion to approve resolution 03280, the resolution to authorize to solicit for a legislative auditor.
All right, we have a motion made. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that carries. All right, our second resolution this evening is resolution requesting authorization to exit the civil service system, resolution 032802. Whereas St. Charles Parish Housing Authority has operated as a civil servant agency with the understanding that it would operate under civil service guidelines, and it is now the desire of the board to exit the civil service systems. Therefore, the Board of Commissioners are respectively requesting to authorize the executive director to exit the civil service process to address market wages for its staff. Any discussion?
Only discussion I have to say is, or ask question is, we can do it, right? It's feasible.
Yes, I've worked with them.
I was gonna ask you about same thing, pros and cons.
I actually worked with them. I actually sent you guys the emails from them. They sent us. They actually sent us the regulations of which I forward to all of the board, and then we actually tried to come up with other scenarios. They got a raise. Y'all got a raise, right? What you mean, Chris?
Since it's not a raise.
Right, but it's in, it's still it's not adequate. So the only way that we could get them to market, I mean, the highest paid person that we have in the office came from another parish. From another parish, and it's just not appropriate.
Give me some positive things that's gonna benefit the agency.
The positive is
people want to keep working for us.
the positive is that I get to keep.
That was the first thing was in my head
Staff
again.
members that have been working based on they are committed to the ED and seeing this through, and they have not been compensated nowhere near the amount they should be compensated under civil service. And so the cost to hire and train new people, once these people decide that they don't want to give their loyalty anymore based on what they've been paying, honestly, it will far exceed what we should be paying somebody to retrain somebody. I mean, we have good
Correct,
people that we need to keep.
I've done it twice. And when they understand that other agencies are paying more, they civil service. You just go on a civil service website and you move where somebody's paying more. I don't know why we are so low, but we're extremely low. In order to get them where they need to be, we have to exit.
Cost of living is higher, and to be able to get someone else at the same rate is going to be that can perform as well as our current employees can perform would be very hard, very complicated.
Cost of living is high. In addition to that, our agency made it a part of our development plan that none of our employees would lose their job. The other agencies that's doing conversion, people losing their jobs. None of our people are going to go away. But the nonprofit won't be able to hire civil service people. There's a lot of benefits, but at this particular time, if any of them people call in sick for the next year, I got to pay them. And ain't nobody there to do their work.
So look, y'all got to know that I support this. That's what
I know that. Yeah,
what we've been talking about.
He
and
helped
I
me
asked
with
that
it.
question for a reason, because we're going to get asked that question. I think the parish is in the same position that we're in, hiring people and pay and all of that stuff. And again, you asked a very pertinent question: is it something that we can do? Not just can we legally do, but is it something that feasibly that we can sustain? As much as I love the people that are working for us, including Ms. Hollis, I try to think past people. When I say past people, I mean I'm thinking about the agency that is sustainability and accountability past individuals that are with us today. None of us are going to be here forever. I'm sure you want to get to retire and all those things. So when we put a system in place, we want a system that's in place that you said, and this is true, that's sustainable 10 years from now, 20 years from now.
Right. Ms. Prevost is the only person that will remain an employee of St. Charles Parish Housing Authority. Everyone else works for the nonprofit.
All right. That being said, public hearing is open for a resolution requesting authorization to exit civil service, authorization number 032802. If there's anyone, member of the public that wishes to speak, they may do so now. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Do we have a motion from the board?
Can I ask one more question? So we're authorizing her to do this. Is there any more research, any more information you coming back with us? Any numbers, anything?
What do you mean? What you mean? What their final pay is going to be?
I guess I'm thinking, what do we expect their salaries are going to be? Just
We're going to go market, and I do have to do research on that, and I will have to get your approval before I do it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It'll be in the form of a budget, probably, for a salary, right?
Well, our budget for 2023 has already been approved.
Right.
But we have the money. Y'all see that.
Right.
Y'all see that right there. I haven't much touched 2022, 2023 money. We have been very frugal, and we have cut every contract that we can cut. And we are using our staff to do most of the things that we were paying other people to do. And they do it well.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So at this time, any further board discussion on resolution 032802, resolution requesting authorization to exit civil service?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve said resolution.
All right. We have a motion made by Commissioner Woods.
Second.
And we have a second by Commissioner Bailey. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. All right, our third resolution this evening is resolution number 032803, the resolution to solicit a contractor to renovate vacant units in the boutique development. Is there any commissioner discussion?
How many units are we're talking about?
I would be lying if I give you a number. 17? 17.
So, okay, so we're looking at renovating 17 units to bring them up to a safe,
Let's
livable.
be careful with the word that we use. We're not renovating them, because we ain't wasting no money.
Well, again, I
We're going to
say
make them safe and decent.
Well,
that's what I was
but
getting at.
the resolution here is to renovate.
Well, I have to use that terminology, but I want to be clear. As
Well,
people,
again, that's exactly where I was going. So we're saying we got 17 units that we're going to improve to a safe and what's the other word that was
decent.
safe and decent condition. So that means in whatever couple of months or something that it takes, we're going to have 17 units available to
Pull off our waiting list.
people come off the current waiting list.
Off the current waiting list. And we are, next month, you will have a resolution. Ms. Prepos, you said June, right? So next month, we'll have a resolution to open our Section 8. Now, understand that our Section 8, how many you have left? 16. We got 16 people. Opening it, first of all, we're not going to have those long lines and the chaos that you guys know. They could do it online with us. But opening the list doesn't mean they're going to find something.
Well,
That's still the problem.
that's the next thing I want to be clear so people understand what we're doing because they're going to come and ask us. So you're saying there are 16 people on the list right now? We have 17 units, so when we get done as
No.
That's
You're
low rent.
marrying two programs. 17 low rent. That's the development. 16 people on the Section 8. That's a different program. That's
Okay.
two different programs.
Okay,
They're not going to take a voucher and won't move.
I
in
got
the
you. So our
development.
low rent, I mean, the units we're improving are going to be on low rent, am I correct?
in boutique.
In boutique. And we have a list for people to go into those units? Do we have a waiting list
We
for
have
that?
about 300 people.
It's about 400
Four?
yet.
Yeah, because that application process never closes.
Okay.
So they go online and they apply. So we have a lot of people waiting. Affordable housing is an issue.
Okay. Again, I just want to be clear so everybody understands, and mostly not just us sitting up here, but the people that's out in the public listening so they understand where we are.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to improve those 17 units. We've got, currently we're saying about 400 people for 17 units, so we're still going to have that housing issue. I just want to make it clear so that people understand where we are, what we're working with, and we're just trying to dig ourselves out of this hole with the rest of the country.
And Ms. Prepos has been doing an excellent job with the port in and port out. Port in and port out. That allows us to let somebody who has a voucher, because some people have family, friends. I'm not going to say family. Family is illegal, right? Some people have friends that they know they have property, and they're moving in. We had a high number. We had a high number of port-ins, in my opinion. We had a high number after Ida of port-ins, but we allowed them to port out, which means they could go wherever. They could go anywhere in the United States of these Americas.
Absolutely, and we have some people in different places.
Yeah. We are very lenient on that
All right.
within the regulation.
Mr. Chair, I do support that one also.
Okay, let me open for public comments. Seeing none, public hearing's open. No one's here to make public comments, so we'll close for public comments, and if the board would like to make a motion at this time.
Mr. Chair, I move, can I see the resolution? I move to approve a resolution to solicit contractor to renovate vacant units in Booty, resolution number 03-28-03.
All right, we have a motion made by Commissioner Woods, second by Commissioner Bailey. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Right, that is the end of our resolutions. Do we have any old business to take care of this evening?
I think that we covered everything throughout the conversation that has occurred. Old business would be the outstanding HUD issues, and we discussed that as well.
Were there anything for any of the commissioners?
Just that organizational issue we talked about.
Do we want to bring that up tonight, or do we want to wait until the next meeting?
We tabled it last meeting. I mean, if that's your choice, but
I mean, we bring it to the
Mr.
board.
Chair, I'd like to move forward.
All right,
All right.
do we have a second to bring that issue off the table? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, this is the discussion for our annual board organization meeting. Do we have any nominations for chair?
I nominate to continue you as being the chairperson of the Housing Authority Board. If you want me to elaborate, I can, but that's my nomination.
All right, do we have a second on that?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that carries. With, Mr. Woods, were you voting or abstaining?
I abstain.
All right. And do we have a nomination for vice chair? I'd like to nominate Commissioner Bailey. A second?
Yes, I second.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, that carries. All right, any further board discussion this evening? All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to adjourn this meeting, 7:24.
All right, all in favor?
All right.
All right, this meeting is adjourned. The time is 7:24.